What's the funniest thing you've ever seen while deployed? Any good prank stories? Any good comedy things?
I think that if Hollywood gets anything wrong about war, it's the lack of, funny stuff that happens like in the thick of horrible situations. That's one of the things that they get wrong is I feel like, for me, Chris, Chili, like all of us that were rolling around on the same team for the better part of like 5 years together, it was just nothing but grab assery and joking around and pulling out the little Chili's a short guy. So we pull out the chili ladder and put it up against the little bird or against the vehicle. And like, we would take it places and stuff like that. It's just absolutely hilarious. Um, yeah, there was, I think at some point it got written into Black Hawk Down. I can't remember, but there was like a donkey that was running around in the middle of the gunfight and like had a cart strapped to it. And it was like, you're like literally trading gunfire back and forth across the street, and it's like violence and chaos and all kinds of stuff. And like donkey just goes like running down the street by itself, and then it comes back and goes the other way, and you're like, dumb donkey, get out of here. At some point, the donkey got hit, but anyways, it's the other thing that Hollywood never gets right is like the surreal aspect of things, where I don't think that it's anything that you're seeing isn't realistic. It's more like your brain can't comprehend what it's perceiving. So you're in this situation, there's like this intense overload of adrenaline and fear and all of that stuff. You're seeing stuff happen that you never, you can't really understand fully. And these other things, whether it's angles, I know riding in a helicopter, as an example, when that thing banks to make a turn and you're sitting in the door, you can actually see like under the helicopter, the horizon on the other side. And there's a version of almost being upside down, looking under the helicopter at things that are on the other side. And these angles are they're just not things that your brain fully can perceive or has the time to absorb and process. And so you're left with this feeling of, man, what the hell was that? And, it just, anyway.
Now, without getting into specifics, because I know you can, but in a broad sense, I have so much fun with this question. What's crazier, the things you actually did or the things you trained to do but were ultimately called off?
Hmm. There were some crazy things that could have gone down that didn't happen, and those are, yeah, they're probably hairier situations, just in like a bigger, more strategic, uh, if you look at it in a bigger picture. But Haiti is another example of something where less than a year after Mogadishu, I don't think most people know about this, but we were literally on planes. We had planes already in the air full of Rangers getting ready to invade Haiti in, I think it was September of '94. So we're back from Mogadishu, kind of like the hurt guys are getting fixed and new guys are showing up. And, it was just kind of chaos all around. And in the middle of all of that, we decide, hey, we're going to go, not Rangers decided, but as a country, we decided we're going to go, try and solve this problem by putting Americans on the ground there. And the mission that we were assigned for that was pretty interesting, but we were going to get a combat jump. I was a jump master, already had, I don't think I had master wings yet, but yeah, I was going to be a jump master for one of the birds, the bird that I was on. And it would have been interesting to see how that played out, you know?
And
So,
they just recalled the planes.
so Jimmy Carter and someone else, I can't remember who, it may have been Colin Powell, like maybe he retired by that point, went down and were talking with, and I don't even remember the president of Haiti's name at the time, but they went down and were talking with him, trying to strike some sort of arrangement or agreement. And I don't even know what like looking back, I don't even know what the conflict was about. Um, we ended up deploying people there, not the Rangers, but special forces guys went in and were in Haiti for about a year or something like that. But um, the planes took off and Jimmy Carter and whomever this person was were still on the ground. And they were like, all right, stand down. My plane had fired up. Everybody was on the plane, JMPI'd. They're inspected, ready to go. The plane is firing up, getting ready to take off. And we got the word, stand down, 24-hour hold. So we're taking our, 100-pound rucksacks full of ammo and law rockets and everything else, and not turning everything back in, but de-rigging everything and okay, we'll do this again tomorrow and see what happens. And in the 24 hours, some sort of agreement was put together, and it didn't happen. But yeah, it was would have been interesting.
Definitely. I don't think I'd ever heard anything about that before. That's fascinating. Now, last time we spoke, we briefly touched on people who maybe play fast and loose with the truth with their military careers. And there have been some examples, I won't get into the specifics recently in the news, about maybe people saying less than honest things about their time in the service. And I'm curious for you as a veteran, when you hear people make claims about either flat out lies or say things like my entire career is classified, that's why you can't find proof of it, or maybe I think what you said, the ambiguity, it's like I'm going to dress a certain way in photos and kind of imply that I did things. What do you
Sure.
think when you see people do that?
Well, if it's people from the unit, like there are some well-known people uh, that have posted things.
And by the way, you don't need to get into specific cases. I'm not asking you to flame someone. I'm just saying in a general
I
sense.
I'm like, I don't have time for hate, generally speaking. People send me stuff and they ask about this person or that person. And generally, I'm like, I don't get involved in it. I don't want to be on the internet having drama with people or having some big fight over, this guy did this or this guy didn't this. I've seen people that served in other roles, kind of be ambiguous and post things that maybe leads people to believe that they served in another type of role. Generally, the stolen valor stuff that I've seen is people that actually served and that should take pride in what they did, but they want to be a part of something that maybe they wanted to do that. Maybe they didn't have the guts to try out for something. I don't know. I'm a person that, like, whether it was a cook, whether you're filling our cars with gas, like, everybody plays a role in the mission. And the operational portion of what special mission units do is like a pinprick on a timeline of here's everything that's got to happen for this thing to be successful. We're literally, but it's also the one that gets all the glory. And so anytime I do something, talk on a podcast, or if I'm writing something, whatever it might be, I'll talk about those people, because without them, without support and everything else going the right way, intel, whatever it is, without all that, man, nothing else is successful.